Will artificial intelligence replace God? Some very, educated people think so. Artificial intelligence, they say, is going to reach a singularity soon, a software personality that seems to know everything and see everything and learned everything there is to know in the world. And it will become like man, the singularity. Programmed to act like a man, think like a man, react like a man. What do you think about that? It's amazing. You know, the Bible talks a lot about man making idols. An idol is something that man creates to replace God and be his God. And we're in the middle of it. You might not even know it. But let me just tell you a few things about this business about software AI or artificial intelligence. Computers are becoming so incredibly sophisticated, so fast, their data capacity so vast, that the idea is that a computer could replace even God. Will know everything. I remember watching a interview with Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Alphabet Incorporated, which owns Google. And he was saying, basically, Google would replace God. This is fascinating. He was saying Google will know everything about you. It will know, all your information. It'll know all the knowledge there is to know in the world. It will know your habits and what you're looking at and where you go and what you do and what you think and what your decisions are. It could so know you by tracking you through your phone. Seriously. Through your watching TV habits, through whatever you happen to do out there, that it could become like God. Matter of fact, and Pichai said on this interview that you won't need God. I think that's the way he put it. You won't need God because Google will know everything. And then you could just basically ask Google and it will have the answer for you. Amazing, eh? Google could be like God. Now, when man makes a god, that's called an idol. It's interesting because Sundar Pichai, P-I-C-H-A-I, is actually short for his Indian name, Pichai Sundararanjan. He's an Indian-American business executive, the CEO of Google and Alphabet, born in Madras, India. I've been through Madras lots of times. Earned a degree in metallurgical engineering, and he's born in 1972, so he's just about 50 years old. And educated at the University of Pennsylvania, and on we could go with him. But imagine saying that we could, through artificial intelligence, create a god or something to replace God. Now, this is fascinating. Do you know, we wonder nowadays how people could ever carve an idol out of stone or cast it out of metal or carve it out of wood and then fall down and worship it. Now, I've actually seen the idol shops in India. The folks told me we'd go by these shops in Tenali, and in there the guy's carving away something. It just looked like a big block of wood at that point, and there's other wood laying around outside that he cut this piece of wood from. And my host said, that's the idol shop. He's carving an idol for someone in there out of that piece of wood. And yes, indeed, they do fall down and worship these stone or metal or wood idols. They believe that they are able to be their gods. And now it's interesting. Now, this is all through the Bible, of course. Isaiah 44 describes this process. It says here, he's talking about making an idol or a graven image to be his god. A man shapes iron into a cutting tool and does his work over the coals. He fashions it with hammers and works it with his strong arms. He gets hungry, his strength fails, and drinks no water, he gets weary. Another man shapes the wood. He extends a measuring line and outlines it with red chalk. He works it with his planes and outlines it with a compass and makes the wood into a form of a man, like the beauty of a man, so that it can sit in a house. Sure, he cuts down the cedar trees for himself, or takes a cypress or an oak and raises it up for himself amongst the trees of the forest. He plants a fir. The rain makes it grow. It becomes something for man to burn. He takes some of it and warms himself with a fire. He makes a fire out of some of it and bakes bread. And then he takes another piece of the same tree and makes a god and worships it, a graven image. He falls down before it. With half of it he burns in the fire, and he eats his meal, and he roasts his food over it, and he's satisfied. And he says, I'm warm, I see the fire. But the other half he makes into a god, and he falls down before it and worships it, and prays to it, and says, Oh, deliver me, for you are my God. And he doesn't think about what he's doing. Isn't that amazing? And here we are in our modern time talking about artificial intelligence, computer AI reaching the singularity where it surpasses man in his ability, and the possibility of, according to the Google CEO, of it, you won't need God because you'll have Google. Quite incredible. I wish I could find that interview. It was quite a remarkable interview. I'd play a bit of it for you, but here's the question. Can artificial intelligence replace God? Is God just a collection of all the sum of knowledge on planet Earth? Is God just an understanding of what makes you think and what likely decision you'll make next? No. In fact, it's nonsense for anybody to think but that. But they do. So what kind of God have you got in your mind? Is God just the answer for your question? The next decision you've got to make? Taking everything into analysis and account? Understanding what's reasonable to do and going about doing it? Or is God something different? He's the creator of heaven and earth. He's outside time and space, and he created it all. And then he entered into it. Became a man like us, became Christ. Beat death. And he's on the throne of the universe right now. Which God have you got? Now, you may be thinking that, artificial intelligence is incredible. Right now, they have computers that can, say, take my picture. It would track me a bunch of different ways. And now it will create a video of me saying or doing or being whatever. It looks just like me. It looks like I'm saying this thing. I'm doing this thing. So we're getting to a point where you can't believe what you see on TV or believe what's on the news. The artificial intelligence can create what looks real and lie about it. Fake news will reach new heights in the future where they'll create their own truth. They're already saying their own truth that's not true, and then they'll create their own truth. But what about this artificial intelligence? Are you afraid of it? I was thinking to myself, I'm not afraid of it. There's two reasons I'm not afraid of it. First of all, a collection of knowledge and computer algorithms that can simulate decisions I've made is not me. Because I am not just a mind, will, and emotions. I am spiritual. I can hear from God and be led by God, and that's something a computer can't do. Think about a computer. No matter how intelligent it gets, it doesn't have any wisdom. All it can do is look at the patterns that were there in the past and emulate them and create new routines, recalculate the data, create new data, create new things out of the old things. That's not life. That isn't life. Here, let me give you some ideas. Can a computer like fast cars? Can a computer enjoy ice cream? Can artificial intelligence love? Oh, sure, it can mimic it. There's actually people in Japan, believe it or not, that are in love with their fake computerized love dolls that act like a woman, but aren't. Can that computer love? No. Can a computer ever have compassion and care? Or is it just a cold, lifeless calculation? That's what it is. Can a computer say they're sorry? Recognize when they've done something wrong and have regret? Could an artificial intelligence repent? Does it have a conscience? Does it know right and wrong? Does it even understand there's a rightness and a wrongness? See, if you want to relegate mankind to that level, we're just nothing. That's what evolution takes us to. Evolution is the soulless process of biology, they say. I don't believe in it. Everything you think, everything you do is just a soulless process. And that's exactly what the machine are. No wonder in our world they want to make artificial intelligent machines into gods to guide them. The soulless process of evolution becomes artificial intelligence. Will that be what animates the Antichrist? The demon gets in the machine? Can a machine pray? Can it know God? Of course not. Can it feel regret? Can a machine be entertained? It can pretend it is. It can pretend it's enjoying something. It isn't. Can it play? Can a machine have imagination, inspiration, or be creative? Absolutely not. All it can do is take what it has and mimic it. It's just a great, big, fat dumpster full of information that's being reorganized. Sure, it's collecting more information than we could ever do personally. But it's vacuous. It's soulless. No heart. Can't even create the simplest thing that a child can create. All it can do is mimic. Yeah. Cold, mechanical, complex calculations. Maybe alluring, but it's just calculation. So, this is the coming world that we're in right now. Artificial intelligence. Isn't that strange? Isn't it fascinating where we're heading in the world? Right now we might, go and say, Google, look up this. Google, tell me the answer to that, or the different ones you can get from Amazon and Apple and any of the artificial sound like a human being. I recently got, for our emergency broadcast system, instead of the Stephen Hawking computer voice now, we got one that sounds like a person. Gee whiz. Sounds like a person reading the emergency alert. Is it a person? No. Does it care? No. Does it panic? Is it worried? Can it think? No. Just giving you what it's got. We have to be careful we don't fall down and worship these things. We're in a world now where graven images are no longer wood or stone. They've become our computers. It's unbelievable what's happening. But there's only one true God. And you can know him and have a relationship to him. You can't have a relationship to a computer or artificial intelligence. Remember, it might seem like a relationship. It might say all the right things. It might know what you'd like to hear. Is that what you want? Or you can have a relationship to Christ, who is alive and real And the final thing we need to know about idols is that they're empowered by demons. Oh, yeah, you can have demons in the machine. I had that experience a bunch of times. Oh, there's stories to be told right there. But 1 Corinthians 10:20 tells us that an idol is a demon. That's what operates through them. And here's what it says in Psalm 96. Great is the Lord, greatly to be praised. He's to be feared above all the gods. All the gods people make are just idols. But the Lord, He made the heavens, and splendor and majesty are before Him, and strength and beauty are in His sanctuary. I'm convinced that we're at a point where we're going to have to choose between technology and God. We're at a point now where you can't believe what you hear in the news. But soon it will be a point where it looks for all the world like somebody you know. The lies will be convincing. You think you're talking to a person, but it's not. Seems to know things about you. You think no one could know this. Seems to have the answers for all your questions. But it's not God. Never will be God. You could pull the plug and it ceased to exist. Worship and serve the Lord. Come to Him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Know the Lord.